Hello, Rebecca Feiner. Thank you for letting us come and talk to you about the art exhibition here at Kew Car Park, Year of the Pig. Can you tell us what it's all about?
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming down to visit us. As you can see in this amazing car park we've got here, we've got 30,000 square feet of space in the middle of central London. We're in the bowels of the building, under Leicester Square, 200 yards from the National Gallery, and it's part of the Chinese Open. So this year it's Year of the Pig, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad, and this whole space is going to be filled with cutting-edge contemporary art, and including performance, dance, music and spoken word as well. So the whole place is going to be completely animated. We launch on February the 10th, which is the celebration of Chinese New Year, which actually starts on the 5th, but that's when they close down Leicester Square, Gerrard Street, have dragon dances, Trafalgar Square, and have this massive celebration for the Chinese New Year. And that's when we launch, and we're open to the public. We launch on that Sunday, and then we're open on the Thursday, the Friday, and then we have a closing night event with live music and performances and all the contemporary art and installations on the Saturday, which is the 16th.
And your tagline is 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. Can you explain that?
Yeah, that tagline is a famous tagline from George Orwell's Animal Farm, very slim volume, which lots of people read at school. And although that book is from the 1940s, he was writing it at a different time. He was writing it, he used to work for the Ministry of Information, which everybody knows about. And it was, you know, that and 1984, this idea of language slipping. So there's several things. The 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. I thought it was very prescient in times of kind of veganism and who's in control. And if you read Animal Farm, it's the pigs who are in control, not the other way round. So I like the idea of turning it on its head, and also making a reference to how language is quite slippy at the moment as well, you know, the meaning of language. And to me, this rant that the pigs do when they take over the farm, because all the human beings in Animal Farm are completely feckless individuals, and when they take over the farm, this is one of the rants. It's like a kind of manifesto rant, and to me it sounds very much like a kind of Trump tweet. You know, it's very sharp, you know, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. That's the end of the discussion. So I really wanted to use that as a jumping off point for the artist. So the overall theme is Year of the Pig, which is the celebration of Chinese New Year, and the 4 legs good, 2 legs bad is like another little hook for them to respond to, which they've all done in the most incredible and surprising ways. And before we start this interview, I met some of the artists outside, and they were telling me how they're tweaking and changing some of the things. So I'm going to be just as surprised as the public when they all start to animate the building with their art.
And it's going to be quite different art, isn't it? It's going to be like installations, some people do performance. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, I think it's what I'm excited about doing it in the car park, because we're 200 yards from the National Gallery, like I said, and this is very cutting-edge contemporary art that people wouldn't necessarily get to see in a sort of West One address. This is not kind of Cork Street art, although some of it might be as well, more traditional. We do have some painters who are going to be exhibiting paintings on easels, and we'll have people doing installations, so they're actually responding to the space, reusing objects, repurposing objects, lots of upcycling and recycling of materials. So I think this is a real chance for the public to come and see this real cutting-edge stuff that's going to be very irreverent and fun, and in many ways incredibly accessible as well. So I'm really excited about what the public's response is going to be able to see this kind of work right in the centre of London, in the West End, because it's more kind of work that you might see in other bits of London. London is made up of all sorts of art villages, and obviously one of the biggest ones is in the East End of London, because there's a huge arts community there. Yeah, I think it's going to be a real opportunity for the artists to get that feedback from the audience, because it's a big family event, and this is totally free to the public, so there's no ticket price. So people to come down, discover things and be surprised and maybe challenged as well. And hopefully it's going to trigger some conversations about Year of the Pig, about the Chinese community in London, which goes back to the 15th century, which lots of people don't realise. And then in the Victorian times as well, again, the East End connection near the Chinese sailors come into London because it was a port, so you've got Chinese communities in London and Liverpool, the kind of sort of biggest ones, and then also in Manchester. And then a sort of third wave of Chinese community coming in the 60s, which is when this area of Chinatown and Soho really took on its identity.
Can you tell us about the Chinese celebrations that will be going on around the time this festival is going on?
Yeah, there's going to be amazing things. There's going to be dragon dancing, pyrotechnics. They're going to take over the whole of Trafalgar Square. And actually, Chinese New Year in London is one of the biggest festivals that happens as a celebration outside of Asia, and over 300,000 people descend on London to experience the kind of cultural offer of what's going on. So it's going to be really exciting for everyone who comes down to see what they have to offer and also to see our exhibition as well.